and beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself.
Shalom, children. Today we are going to be taking a deeper look at this week's Torah portion to see where it speaks of Yeshua Ha'Mashiach. We are in the book of Bamidbar. The parashah this week is called Beha'alotecha, which in Hebrew means, when you raise. Let's hear a summary of the parashat. Aharon is instructed to raise the light in the lamps of the menorah. The tribe of Levi is initiated into the service of the tabernacle. A second Passover is instituted after a group of people were unable to bring the Passover offering in its appointed time, due to being ritually unclean. Adonai instructs Moshe on the procedures for how and when Israel was to travel and their encampments in the desert. The people set off in their given order and formation from Mount Sinai, where they had been camped for nearly a year. Some of the people are unsatisfied with their bread from heaven and demand Moshe supply them with meat. Moshe appoints 70 elders to assist him in the burden of governing the people. Miriam speaks negatively of Moshe and is made unclean with sa'arat. Moshe prays for her healing, and the entire community waits 7 days for her recovery. Yeshua said, "If you believed Moshe, you would believe me, because he wrote about me." So let's dig a bit deeper to see if we can find Yeshua in the scriptures. In our studies so far, we have learned a lot about light. It is mentioned in the scriptures many times. This tells us it must be important for us to learn about it. So let's see what we can come to understand today. Light in Hebrew is or. It is first mentioned in the scriptures in Bereshit, the very beginning. Elohim said, "Let there be or," and there was or. Now this light wasn't coming from the sun, moon, or stars, because they were not created until day 4. So what or who is the or? Well, the Psalms tell us, "Yahweh is my light and my Yeshua. Whom shall I fear?" Now this light is not a physical light like the sun. Indeed, or brings about a separation from darkness. Yeshua spoke to the people and said, "I have come into the world as a light, so that no one who believes in me should remain in darkness." The writers of Psalms and Proverbs understood the connection of light to walking in righteousness. "Send out your or and your truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me to your holy mountain and to the place where you dwell. For the commandment is a lamp, and the Torah a light." In our parashah today we read, Aharon arranged the lamps to face toward the front of the lampstand, as Adonai had commanded Moshe. This reminds me of how we use a torch. If we were to walk on a narrow path in the evening, we would shine our torch in front of us so that we could see where to walk and so stay on the path. In a similar way, Yeshua said to his taught ones, "Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Yochanan added, "If we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Yeshua Ha'Mashiach cleanses us from all sin." In the last book of our Bibles, we read of the vision Yochanan had of Yeshua, who appeared standing in the middle of 7 menorahs. Yeshua explained to him, "The 7 lampstands which you saw are the 7 assembly of believers." From all of this we can conclude, when we, like a priest, attend to our lamps and keep them continuously burning with oil and our light shining forth, we will have Yeshua dwell in our midst. The parasha continues with the incident of Miriam, the sister of Moshe, becoming unclean with Tza'arat, after speaking Lashon Hara against her brother. But she isn't the only unclean person of interest today. We read, "Now there were certain men who were defiled by a dead body, so that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Moshe and Aharon. Moshe then took their case to Adonai, who instructed him, saying, 'If any one of you, or of your descendants, is unclean through touching a dead body, or is on a long journey, he shall still keep the Passover to Adonai.'" This was certainly good news for those men who desired to be made clean and walk out the Torah in its fullness. They had been given a second chance to keep the Passover the following month. This creates a shadow picture of us. Indeed, we have all been made unclean through sin, and yet we too get another chance through Yeshua to be made clean. An example was given of this, recorded by Luke, of the time when a certain man who was unclean with Tza'arat, he saw Yeshua and fell onto his face and implored him, saying, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Incredibly, Yeshua put out his hand and touched him, saying, "I am willing, be cleansed." And immediately the Tza'arat left him. Have you ever had to feed a hungry pet? Maybe your cat or dog. They can be very loud and demanding, can't they? Well, in the wilderness, some of the people started to get a bit demanding too. We read, "The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again the Israelites started wailing and said, 'If only we had meat to eat.' We remember the fish which we ate freely in Mitzrayim, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions and the garlic." But that wasn't the end of their complaining. Astonishingly, they added, "Now our whole being is dried up. There is nothing at all except this manna before our eyes." Can you imagine such ingratitude? Every day Elohim provided them with their daily bread. All the people had to do each day was go out and collect it. No plowing or sowing. These people seem to have forgotten that they were slaves when they lived in Mitzrayim. Their attitude reminds me of the Pharisees during the time of Yeshua's ministry. Here they all were, with the living bread which had come down from heaven, healing the sick, and even raising the dead. But just like the rabble in the wilderness, this was not the bread they wanted to give them life. Have you ever been camping? Setting up a tent can be quite tricky and doesn't always go to plan. So imagine how hard it was for the people in the wilderness to set up their tents and the tabernacle with its courtyard. It would have taken some good teamwork for everything to go smoothly. We have learned from Beha'alotecha, the children of Israel were to follow the cloud in the wilderness wherever it went. We read, "Whenever the cloud was taken up from above the tabernacle, after that the children of Israel would journey, and in the place where the cloud settled, there the children of Israel would pitch their tents." We have a wonderful example of their obedience for us to follow. Despite the difficulties in setting up and taking down the camp, the people listened and obeyed. And wasn't that a contrast to the grumbling ones who rejected the manna from heaven? So next time you feel like having a grumble yourself, stop and put on your hat of obedience, and remember the words written by Rabbi Shaul. For in him we live, and move, and exist. Well, children, that is the end of our study for today. So we will see you next time, when we search the scriptures together. Shalom.
When I arise, and when I walk, when I sit down, and when I talk, let your words be in my heart, in every thought, set me apart. With all my heart, with all my soul, with all my strength.